This is the Reolink RLC-511 IP camera. The reason that I decided to purchase this camera is because it's got a 5 megapixel sensor, power over Ethernet, and because it's Super HD I should get a better quality picture. I don't use this camera for security. This camera is going to be used for filming wildlife around the garden, and I'll be mounting it on a purpose-made tripod. The main reason that I spent the extra money though on this particular camera is because it's got a 4x optical zoom, and that will prove very useful for the applications I'm going to be using this camera for. This is how the camera arrives, and then inside the box we've got the camera, a 24-hour video surveillance sticker, Ethernet cable, a small Phillips screwdriver, a waterproof connection for the Ethernet cable, some screws and roll plugs, and there's a little Allen key in there. That is just a template so that you can pre-drill any holes before you fix the camera. There are 2 quick start guides, and these are all different languages. This one has got English, so I'll leave that one there, and then just a certificate of conformity. The first thing I'll say about it is it's fairly big. It's a big camera. It's much bigger than the camera it's replacing. We've got the Ethernet cable for power over Ethernet. If you don't have PoE, you can use a power supply and an Ethernet cable to power it. And this here is a little reset button. Now, another observation is that it's built like a tank. It is really very solid. On the back there we've got a screwed on cover, and behind that you can fit a 64GB micro SD card. It's got 24 infrared LEDs. And in order to adjust the position of the camera, you need to use the Allen key that's supplied with it, and all the adjustments are made by slackening this grub screw here. So if we slacken that off, we've got the ability to tilt the camera up and down, swivel it, and I've flipped it over 180 degrees, so because I'll be mounting it this way up. When it came out of the box it was the other way around. And also you can alter the direction on the base, and I think that is a very nice feature. In the quick start guide there are instructions for accessing the camera by smartphones and tablets, with QR codes there to get the apps. And then further on in the booklet there are instructions on accessing the camera by computer, and that is what I am going to do first. So the guide asks you to type in this web address. It's reolink.com/software-and-camera. So that's not a good start. It doesn't go there, so I'll get rid of the beginning there. I'll just put the link to their home page. There we go. There's software and manual there, so we'll click on software and manual. And we'll download for a PC. So I'll click on there. That's downloading now. There's the application. I'm just going to click on that. Just go straight to run. So that's it installed. Fairly easy once we got to the website, but I would have expected better than that from the startup guide. So this is a power over Ethernet camera, so I'm going to use the supplied cable and connect it to my Netgear PoE switch. We'll connect it up, see what happens. So that's it connected. I can see that it's powered up on the switch there. Oh, I haven't had to do anything, it's connected up on its own. That was really very simple. That beeping noise is actually coming from the computer, so that was impressive. So I'll read the QR code with my Android tablet. That has taken me to Google Play with the Reolink app. I'll install that. That was pretty easy. And there we've got it there, look, so I'll click on that now. It wants access to photos and media, so I'll allow that. Uninitialized device. It's asking me to create a login password, so I'll do that now. Moved on to the next step. It's asking me to name my device, so I'm just going to call that Reolink, I think. Next. Initialization finished, so finish. And then there's a plus sign there, so I'll click on that. Then it's asking me now to find the QR code on the camera. So the QR code is on the bottom of the camera. I'll just move this and get the QR code. So it said that that device already exists, probably because of logging onto the computer. So what happens if I hit the play button? Right, so I've hit the play button, and as you can see, we're now connected to the app. So nice and easy, no issues with that. And now let's try it on an Apple iPhone, and that covers all the bases then. There we go, so it's saying view in App Store, click on there, quick and easy. It's just asking me to get the app, so that's downloading, ready to open, so we'll open that now. So plus. So I scanned the QR code and it said there was a username and password error, so I typed in the password that I'd used on the Android device and it's connected. So that's nice and simple as well. So I would say that connecting it to any device is pretty simple. For a few years now I've been running the Ethernet cable out of the study window, and just moving the camera around the garden. And I've decided to buy a flat Cat6 Ethernet cable, which just means that it will fit through the window a lot easier. And occasionally I've trapped the round cables with the mechanism on the window and damaged them, so I'm hoping that this will prevent that problem. So that might just be something worthwhile thinking about if you're not sure how to run a camera. I've been running Ethernet cables out of the windows in my house for a long time, and most windows would probably accommodate that. So that's just something to think about. And this is a 50-metre cable. I've got a 50-metre Cat6 cable. So that is the camera connected now. So I've now pointed the camera where I want it to be. I might have to adjust it when I've had a look on the screen, but I'm going to lock it down in that position. The camera is pointed towards the side of the barn because I've been seeing some activity there on a night time. And to let you know how far away it is from the office, that is the office window over there. So this is just a quick test of the audio. I've placed the camera next to another CCTV camera that I've got that runs off an MVR system, just so that we can compare one to the other. The other camera is a much lower resolution and the field of view is slightly different, but at least it will give you an idea of what this thing will do. So let's have a look at the Reolink client software. Now this is really very good software. It's very easy to use. There is a bit of a learning curve with it, but it's not too bad at all. We've got basic settings. I use video settings on a night time because I find that the way the camera is set as a default settings, where all these bars are in the middle, you lose an awful lot of the image, and you can improve the image considerably by increasing the brightness and the contrast. But you can see when you do that during the daytime, it kind of spoils the image a bit. So that's something that maybe Reolink could look at to give you the option to change the settings for daytime and nighttime. You've also got the facility there to change all the resolutions. But one thing that I will say is when you go for a 16:9 ratio, it stretches the image. So it distorts things horizontally, which is a bit of a disappointment really. So I'm going to put that back onto a 4:3 ratio, 2560 × 1920. So as you can see, it's switched back over now, and it looks like it's in a 16:9 ratio, but it's not, because if you click this center button on the top here, you can see the aspect ratio that the camera is recording in. So on basic settings, we've got the on-screen display, and you can change stuff on that. You've got video info, which is the one that I use the most actually for changing the way that the picture looks. And it's easy to set everything back to default. You just click on the default there and it goes back to the default settings. Encode is where you can change the video resolutions and the bit rate and all that sort of stuff. The optical zoom and focus settings, at the moment it's set on minimum zoom. You can zoom in to the full 4x optical zoom, and it auto focuses, but also if you're not happy with the focus, you can adjust the focus. Now I find that a little bit tricky, and I think it would be way better if this was controlled, say, with the center wheel on a mouse, because to actually get it to tune in, you've got to keep clicking it and clicking it until you get the focus right, and it's easy to overshoot. But if you overshoot, the best thing to do is to just zoom out and then zoom back in again, and it will autofocus, and the autofocus is fine. On the advanced settings, you've got things like anti-flicker, exposure, and I've played with them a little bit, but I'm not an expert on things like exposure and white balance. But you can change the way that the picture looks, purely record in colour or use infrared and go on to black and white. Backlight, I've got no idea what that does. I don't know what 3D DNR is either, and you can have the infrared lights turned off or leave them on auto, so they come on automatically on the night time. So they're the menus on the right hand side there, but at the top you can see that we've got other menus. The settings one is the one that's the most important, and you've got a whole myriad of stuff in there that you can change. You know, you can go on the SD card. If you've got one, I've not got an SD card fitted. You can change the video resolution. There's an awful lot of stuff you can do up there. Motion detection, you can set it up for motion detection. You can set up the sensitivity, what times it comes on and goes off, and different sensitivities for different times. And you can also set the area that you want the motion detection to work on, which is very handy. But I won't be using that because I'm not using it as a security camera per se. Oh, there's a fox just running down the garden. The last thing I want to show you is that you can take a photograph at any time. Just click there and you can see it tells you where it's put the images on your hard drive. But the thing that I love about this software is that you can permanently record. Now, I've got a 4 terabyte hard drive on my computer, and I just leave this recording 24 hours a day. And every morning when I get up, I go onto my hard drive, click on the recordings. It opens up Films and TV on Windows 10. You can just take control of the sliding by there and scroll right through your video very, very easily. So if you're checking for intruders or anything like that, or if you're like me looking for wildlife, it's very easy to go through the videos and see what's been happening. Now, I would like to see a better form of focusing. I would also like them to add a proper 16:9 aspect ratio to the image so that it's not stretched when you go from one to the other. Personally, I don't think you can fault the client software. It is absolutely brilliant. I think that this is a smashing camera. I paid extra money to get a better picture, and in all honesty the picture quality is not quite as good as I expected it to be, but it is a lot better than all the other security cameras that I've got. And it's a lot clearer, so it's far better for recognising faces and that type of thing if you're using it as a security camera. The 4x optical zoom is a wonderful feature. It's the first time I've seen that on one of these type of bullet security cameras, and I'll be using that all the time. The software, as I've just said, is absolutely brilliant as well. So I think as an all-round package you can't really go wrong with it. All these security cameras are the same. It might be Super HD, but it's not as good as, say, the video that this camera is recording, if it was recorded in Super HD. Do I think it's worth buying? Yes, I'm very pleased I've got it. It's built like a tank, very well made. It's a nice camera. And I hope you found this review useful.